guys, it's Rose here. Welcome to and welcome back to Mango Cafe Art. In today's video, you'll see me drawing in my sketchbook. It's the first time in a very long time that I've done character art traditionally, furthermore in a sketchbook. I was drawing on loose sheets of paper for a while, but I saw this sketchbook for a good price and I was like, maybe I should try using sketchbooks again. I don't even remember why I stopped using sketchbooks. I just stopped using them one day. The sketchbook has a weird name. It's called Being Fang. It has 40 sheets and each sheet is 90 pounds or 146 GSM. It says it's mixed media paper, but I don't think the paper is thick enough to use watercolors with. Maybe it could hold acrylic, but I think watercolors might have too much water for the paper to hold. The sketchbook is also 9 by 12 inches, which is kind of big for me. I tend to like to work on small pieces of paper. For the sketch, I'm using a 2H pencil. They tend to have lighter lead, but the lead is still hard, so they're pretty good for sketching. Well, unless you like soft lead pencils. I'm not used to soft lead, so it's kind of feel weird for me. For this drawing, I wanted to do one of those welcome to my sketchbook kind of pages that tend to be on the first page of the sketchbook. And I was also inspired by an artist on Instagram. Their username is _roll1_a. Their drawings have lots of detail and lots of clutter, and I was really interested in creating my own drawing with lots of clutter in the background. I decided to draw an art room or bedroom because that way I would have a lot of space to add clutter, and also because it's like you're in my room, my art space. You're looking into my sketchbook. In my sketch, I added shelves with art supplies on them. I added a paint palette, a color wheel chart, a posable figure that some artists use for reference, tape, like washi tape, or it could be like the tape you use to tape the border to, like watercolors. Big bottles of paint, then it's markers, paint brushes, pencil crayons, scissors, painting small tubes, painting small bottles. There's lots of art supplies in general. To fill the space on the wall, I put some paper for paintings on the wall because I think most artists would have some of their work on display in their rooms or their studio. I also drew a desk, and I drew a desktop computer and a keyboard on the desk. I also sketched in two windows that are open on the monitor screen. One of them was supposed to be like MS Paint. I don't think I've ever drawn in MS Paint, but it looks cute, so I drew it. There's also the computer mouse that's on the heart-shaped mouse pad and a disposable coffee cup. On the floor, there's a peace lily, indoor plant, and a trash bin, and a stack of books. We have a little rug and a pair of slippers. I could have probably added more clutter, but I was running out of ideas. But I think I did a good job for my first time trying to add like a whole lot of clutter to a drawing. Once I had finished sketching all the clutter, I started sketching the character. I gave her a cute wavy hairstyle and some fairly simple clothes. I didn't think she would need a fancy outfit because one, Who wears fancy clothes inside, especially when doing art? Art gets really, really messy. And two, the pose was really weird, and it's not really a pose where you could show off fancy clothes to start with, so we just kept things simple. Her eyes ended up in a completely different art style than what I usually do, but I just stuck with it. Maybe I can explore this type of cartoony eye style more, or maybe not. I was kind of nervous about the new line art because traditional art has no mercy. If you make a mistake, you just gotta suck it up and roll with it. So that gave me some nerves. I was using a new fine liner. It was a 0.4. I like to use the thicker fine liners because when I use the thin ones, I usually end up just like taking forever to line the sketch, and then the lines end up looking super wobbly as well. After lining for a while, the nervousness subsided. I did end up with some wobbly lines and some mistakes with the ink deciding to blotch up all in one area, but that's all part of the charm of traditional art, I guess. But because this fine liner was new and was from a brand I never tried out before, I was nervous about if the ink would smudge when I tried to erase the sketch from under the line art, and to my pleasant surprise, it didn't. So thank God. So far I'm liking the new fine liner. The line art ended up being somewhat relaxing and overall like satisfying to do, and I think it's really cool to see as the sketch is being lined. It's like the drawing is starting to come to life, like it all coming together. I had originally planned to color this drawing with markers and pencil crayons, but I ended up only using the alcohol markers. I haven't used them for a while, so I changed my mind and made it exclusively markers only, cause I gotta show off the markers, give them their time to shine. For the regular paint palettes, I wanted it to look like how my palettes would look after I have used acrylic paints and didn't clean it. So basically with all the dry pieces of the paint stuck onto it to make it look like really colorful. So I blended and layered the colors on that to achieve the desired effect. And for the drawings on the wall, I left them blank so I could fill them in to make them look more painterly. Thanks to real life comparison is my acrylic paintings tend not to have line art and look more painterly than my character art, which has very strong line art. I'm starting to feel more comfortable with acrylic paint and starting to enjoy it more. When I was younger, I didn't really understand acrylic paint. I thought it was like watercolor, and I used to add a whole bunch of water to it, and then it wouldn't work properly, and it used to frustrate me a lot. And I really swore, like, I really believe I did not like painting. I was just doing it wrong. One of the paintings was flowers because I like flowers, and I like to draw them, and I like to wear floral prints and stuff because flowers are pretty. Another one was a butterfly because butterflies are almost as pretty as flowers. The actual wormy part of the butterfly, that looks pretty gross. Sorry, butterflies. One of the paintings is of cherries and another of a cupcake. I put them there because I also like to draw food. I had a whole phase where I was just painting and drawing desserts in particular. I actually saw some artists on Instagram that draw food for cafe and restaurant menus, and it surprised me because I never thought that could be a way for some artists to make money. Like, food illustration is a whole thing. for those of you who might be wondering about the markers I'm using, they are all alcohol based markers, but they're different brands. I've got a few Copic markers. I have some Ohuhu. I have some Shuttle Art markers. And I think I have another brand or two after that. I don't recommend the Shuttle Art markers because over time, a lot of the yellows oxidized and changed color. So now most of the yellows are all the same dark yellow color. So the ones that used to be pastel, the dark yellow now. Also, they tend to stain other pages of the sketchbook over time. And then lastly, some of the Shuttle Art markers started to crystallize at the nib of the marker, and that caused the markers to not work anymore. So yeah, overall, like in the long run, like all the years later, I don't recommend these ones. But the good news is all the other brands didn't behave like this at all. So just avoid the Shuttle Art ones. Sorry, Shuttle Art. Oh, and I also wanted to say that I really like the wood texture I did on the table. I think it looks really cool. Like it just screams wood. And I also liked how the eyes turned out, because sometimes when I'm coloring my eyes traditionally, especially with the markers, they just start to get all weird and funky, and I don't know why. But today they didn't, so it's good. So yes, this is how the drawing turned out. I really liked it. It was really fun and refreshing to do. And with that being said, thanks for watching.